Love Curse is a girls' love visual novel that was released April 19th, 2025. You play Celine Yan, a junior at Ocean City University. She's a sweet person with a big heart. After almost getting hit by a car, you meet a mysterious lady named Phoenix that tells you you'll die if you don't find your soulmate soon. So that's the basic introduction for the game. During your playthrough, you'll meet a handful of characters, including the four love interests. Nyx Jha, who is your childhood best friend, and when I say childhood, I mean they were like literally 5 years old the last time they were together. Iris Wynn is your upperclassman, and she's kind of like that popular girl you had a crush on in high school that just seemed perfect in every way. Eleanor C is the twin sister of one of your classmates, and she's doing this whole thing where she subs in and out for her sister so she doesn't have to go to class. Victoria Chi, well, she's your new boss. HR is not going to be happy when they find out what we did with her. With all the characters introduced, I will now begin my rant. This is your last spoiler warning. The game overall is a perfectly fine visual novel. It doesn't overstay its welcome, the art is great, the voice acting is great. The real issue is the pacing. I'm going to start with Eleanor because she's the first route I played, but before I can even begin to explain to you her route, I have to give you backstory. Basically, our characters Celine, Nyx, and Eleanor are all connected. I'm going to simplify this as much as possible. We are Celine, a reincarnation of Fu Guang. Eleanor is a reincarnation of this girl, Jiang He. Nyx is basically an evil spirit named Chimei. Fu Guang and Jiang He are long distance friends. Fu Guang took in Chimei and is basically taking care of her. The relationship's kind of weird, but don't worry about it. Anyway, Fu Guang leaves Chimei alone. She does some evil stuff. Fu Guang sacrifices herself to send Chimei to hell. Jiang He arrives just in time to watch Fu Guang die a horrible death. That's all you need to know. So during Eleanor's route, she comes to your apartment and runs into Belle, who's basically a temporary roommate. Also, she's a cat demon, but don't worry about it. It's not important. So Belle calls Eleanor Jiang He, and it more or less just gives her the memories of her past life. She freaks out and leaves. The next time you talk to her, she confesses her love and says that you're in danger and that you need to move in with her so she can keep you safe. Remember, she is like fully aware that Nyx is a literal fucking demon. The next bit of the game is just spent with Eleanor completely smothering you and locking you away. She is so terrified of the thought that you will also die a terrible death because of Nyx. Like, she's walking you to and from work. She's keeping you inside her home as much as possible. She doesn't even let you go out and get food. She brings all your meals directly to you. As strange as it sounds, I think this is actually pretty compelling writing because us as the reader can understand her actions and why she's doing them, even if we don't agree with the way she's going about it. During this time, their relationship becomes increasingly strained, as you can imagine. Eleanor won't tell us what's happening because she's worried you'll go and sacrifice yourself again, and she obviously doesn't want to lose you in the same way that Jiang He lost Fu Guang. The two of you have several arguments, and it can be hard to kind of tell what's going on with Eleanor, which leads to a lot of down Celine. So, this next bit is going to sound a little silly, but after a spat, Eleanor gets freaked out by a cockroach. She's terrified, and Celine just kills it like it's nothing. And at the end of the day, Eleanor is just a woman, same as Celine. After this, Eleanor tells you to go back to your other roommate, Phoenix, which we mentioned at the start. She's basically your guardian angel, but don't worry about the specifics. Again, they're not really that important to the overall story. You go back to your apartment and learn about everything that happened from her. Here's where we get to the big pacing issue. In the next 10 minutes of gameplay, you go back to Eleanor, say, okay, we need a plan. She says, go talk to Phoenix and we'll come up with a plan. You leave, and Nyx immediately attacks you. Eleanor gets in the way, gets hurt, and buys enough time for Phoenix to show up. She immediately kills Nyx. You take Eleanor to the hospital for all of about 4 sentences and go back to her house. Finally, she's able to relax and stop being so protective, and she wants to move in with you instead of you, being trapped in there like a little gerbil in a hamster ball or whatever. And the two of you kiss, the end. Roll credits. The whole climax goes by so fast. It's literally Nick's evil and she's dead. Kiss, kiss, roll credits. Overall, her route is fine. I think her actions, flaws, point of conflict, whatever you want to call it, is completely justifiable from her point of view. but the ending just happens so fast it throws you off a little bit. After Eleanor's route, I moved on to Nyx's as that seemed just like the logical choice here. It might just be because I liked Eleanor a lot, but I don't have nearly as much to say about Nyx. Throughout the early parts of the game, Nyx is very clingy, almost childish in nature. Now, we know that she's evil because we're doing her route second. Most of her actions can be boiled down to clingy because she wants you to get attached so her vengeance is that much better. She tries to kill us at one point. That's when Phoenix gives us all the backstory, and we see the relationship in more detail than in the previous route. They lived together and they were like really close. And now in the true ending, Chime explicitly states that she always intended to kill Fu Guang, but from the perspective of this route, Chime is just super attached, maybe even in love. I think that's like the whole theme of Nyx's route, but I'll kind of get more into that as we get further in. Anyway, we go back to confront Nyx. She's not there. So we read her diary, find out how much she despised us after we moved away as kids, because basically she wasn't evil before we moved away, since she lost her memories like temporarily when she used all of her strength to take control of, well, Nyx when she was a fetus. God, I sound insane. Also, like the fetus was dying or dead, so she didn't actually harm anyone in that whole process. Not important. Well, it's kind of important, but whatever. I digress. Anyway, some time passes or something like that, and we make a plan with Phoenix in case Nyx goes crazy and actually tries to kill us again. She comes back and kidnaps us, takes us to a place that was like Fu Guang's home because she wants to kind of turn us into Fu Guang so she can get her vengeance. It's a whole thing. Days, weeks, I don't know, a while passes. During this time, we are constantly telling Nyx that we aren't Fu Guang, we're Celine. We're distancing ourselves from all that so, we can kind of get away from it maybe. After another argument, Nyx threatens to kill us, but she just can't seem to bring herself to do it. And with some choice words, we kind of break down that wall of hate and see Nyx, not Chime, not this like vengeful evil spirit. It's just the girl. So essentially, Nyx is both the evil spirit Chime and the sweet loving girl Nyx. I think that the human, Nyx, loves our character wholeheartedly, but we leave her behind, and when she regains her memories, she feels the same betrayal Chime did, and that's what she becomes. When we distance ourselves from Fu Guang, we tell her that she's dead, she's never coming back. Her vengeance doesn't do anything for her. And I think that's when Chime fells and Nyx comes forward. Yes, they're one being, but the human part was like overruled by hate. After we tell her that Fu Guang is gone and all of that stuff, Nyx breaks down. She falls to the ground, threatening us through a tear streaked face. But we already know that she's broken. She doesn't mean the things she's saying right now, and we offer comfort. With that hate gone, all that's left is the part of her that loves Celine. We tell her that it's not too late and that we can still fix things. She breaks down, apologizing, begging for forgiveness. She's happy she didn't hurt us and that there's still time to fix things. And after this, we go and see this lady and Phoenix. They do a ritual to like remove the evil part. Chime will be no more. Nyx will be all that remains. She'll remember everything, but she won't be innately evil anymore, and she'll also be a human from now on. Like she'll die of old age and stuff like that. Anyway, she goes through with it, and finally the two of them can be together forever. They share a final moment and kiss. The end. Everyone loves a good enemies to lovers story, and her route still has some pacing issues, but it's not nearly as abrupt as Eleanor's. So I've still got Victoria and Iris to talk about, and you might be wondering how they fit in with all of this. They don't. I'm not joking. Like, they aren't related to the reincarnation stuff at all. They're almost completely isolated from the rest of the cast. Once you are on their routes, Nyx literally dies off screen, and both Belle and Phoenix just leave. Anyway, Victoria, best girl. That's really all I need to say to express myself here. Throughout all of your interactions with her, she is incredibly easy to talk to. She likes you to be straightforward. She's nice, caring, mature. The only issue she has outside of working too much is that during the conflict of her route, we find out she's part of an arranged marriage that she doesn't tell us about. So there's that. But I find her reasoning of I didn't tell you because I was going to find a way out of it because I love you to be perfectly reasonable. especially since she never doubts her relationship with Celine and works tirelessly to fix her mistake. Basically, here's what happened. Her cousin, Rosalie, who's like the big boss, she's a bitch. She's pushing for the marriage because of like business reasons, and obviously Victoria doesn't want that because she's already in love with someone else. During this whole conversation, Victoria is adamantly defending us and cutting down Rosalie's suggestions. Celine overhears their conversation and feels both betrayed and lied to. The two do eventually notice us, but Rosalie leaves the two of us alone to talk. Victoria expresses that she feels the same way we do about the marriage and that it's her family's decision, not hers. On the other side of the conversation, we're feeling a bit like Ariana Grande because, yeah, we'd be doing a little home wrecking. This conversation ends when we ask if we can continue our relationship, and Victoria freezes up, not knowing how to answer. Feeling hurt, we leave. After this conversation, we start avoiding Victoria entirely. Victoria herself wants to talk to you and fix things, but she doesn't want to do that until after getting out of the marriage. Anyway, we get a flashback of Rosalie talking to us about the whole thing, where she asks if we would be okay being Victoria's mistress. And of course, we say, fuck yeah, no. We say no, because we have self respect, goddammit. 2 weeks pass, and the two finally talk, with Victoria expressing her love and how she wouldn't give us up no matter what. She explains to us that Rosalie is trying to hurry the whole thing along, and she's trying to find a way to cause enough trouble that she'll drop the whole marriage thing. After hearing all that, we agree to help. Together, we find some dirt on Rosalie and confront her with it. She calls off the marriage, and that's basically the end of the route. The last 25% of the story happens very quickly, but, we do get a happy ending with Victoria and Celine living together and having a happy life. Spoiler alert for Iris's route, but Victoria is by far the most mentally stable person in the cast. Even when she was showing flaws, she was always trying her best to make things right. And as the reader, you never really doubt her love or feel confused by the way she treats you. Iris is the last route I played, and she'll probably be in the thumbnail because of the image I'll show her in a second. But anyway, she's the last route I played, and I believe her bad ending is more popular than some of the other happy endings in the game. She becomes very obsessive and kidnaps you, wanting you all to herself. It's Toxic Yuri all the way around. Here's the CG. That's all I'm going to say about the bad ending because I'm here for happy times and happy endings. Wait a minute. Iris is our upperclassman. She's responsible, well spoken, and incredibly beautiful. Her story doesn't really kick off until you're fully locked into her route. Basically, we're friends, and we kind of flirt back and forth. She does this weird thing where one day she'll hold our hand and stare longingly into our eyes, and then the next day just straight up ignore us. The two go out on a date together. We confess our love, and Iris seems very indifferent at first, but eventually she takes our hand. We ask her what that means, if it means yes, and she says yes, kind of. She nods. She doesn't actually say shit, really. Once they part ways, Iris doesn't even bother turning around to look at us or anything. She just goes home. Some time passes and we're in our apartment alone. The relationship kind of blows. Since they started dating, Iris is almost never around, always working and almost never responding to our text messages anymore. Basically, since they started dating, Iris has become distant and inattentive. We end the day by sending Iris a couple texts asking if she wants to hang out this weekend. No response. The next day at work, our friend Megan is talking to someone about a new restaurant, but she acts like we've already been there with Iris because this whole time she's been posting photos of her doing stuff to her social media pages. We check the pages only to find out she has the posts hidden from us. We immediately text her asking to meet on Sunday so that we can talk. And she responds with, yes. That's it. At the cafe, Iris is very cold towards us, and I actually had to call him back up. So I had my wife sit with me as I replayed her route so she could help me understand what was actually happening. Iris says she's working hard for our future, but that obviously sounds stupid because she's actively ignoring us. We confront her with the evidence that she's been ignoring us, saying she's busy when in reality she's been going out and doing stuff and just hiding it from us. Iris thinks we're upset because she went somewhere without us, but that's obviously not the case because we're angry that she's hiding it. And then Iris just drops the act entirely. We're like, why can you hang out with other people but not me? And Iris just straight up responds like, yeah. Why do I? Why do I waste my time with you when I can just do them alone? My wife's jaw immediately hit the floor when she read that line. Iris goes on to explain that work is tiring and then she has to deal with our meaningless, unimportant messages. I mean, look at this line.
上班很累的时候，要抽出时间看你言之无物的讯息。下班后自己顺路去吃了顿饭，还要被你盘问。
Now, this line here might be the most important line in this whole conversation, but it doesn't mean anything to us right now. So we're just going to put a pin in it, okay? We're just going to put it in the top right corner of the screen, okay? So we ask her, "Do you love us? Do you or me? Us, me. Do you love me?" She hesitates, which is an immediate answer. We ask her, "Why are we together if you don't like me?" And she just goes, "Yeah."
是啊，
To quote my wife, "What is wrong with this girl?" After that, Iris breaks up with us and walks away. We end up explaining all this to Megan, who, by the way, is a total MVP and a great friend. This girl would have your back if a literal fucking demon was trying to kill you. Oh. Anyway, both Megan and Wifey both agree that she has an avoidant attachment style, which was something I've never even heard of before, if I'm being honest. Basically, from my understanding, hey, unpin that, bring that here. Bring that back here. It's relevant now. She's scared to let anyone get close to her, which is why I had this line pinned, and she doesn't want to be relied on or have anyone rely on her. I also think she has some self destructive tendencies as well. From here on out, whenever we do happen across Iris, she's kind of just her old self, like we never dated or anything. About a month passes, and our last form of communication was us texting her asking if she wanted to come pick up her things. She obviously didn't reply to us. During this time, Iris is rereading their messages and then marking them as unread afterwards. She can't actually muster up the courage to message us back. It seems like Iris is feeling some sort of regret for how she treated us and is upset at how things ended. Despite everything Iris said, she can't stop thinking about Celine. Later at her apartment, Iris wonders if this is the life she wants, all alone with zero emotional ties, a life where nobody expects anything from her and no one can be disappointed. She thinks about the day they broke up. She feels like she's being stabbed in the heart as she thinks about the way Celine spoke. And this pain is different than anything she's ever felt before. It's a new emotion entirely. She begins to break down, crying, confused by why her heart aches. Is it anger, regret, worry? No, it's none of those things. She's in love and is only just now realizing it. Deciding that she wants to see us again, Iris quits her job and applies to work at the same place as us. The next bit of the game is Iris trying to talk to us, but we're pushing her away. We don't want to hear anything she has to say. And it's like such an awkward time because Iris is suddenly texting us and being very sweet and just generally acting like nothing has happened. This goes on for a bit. We have a small talk with her where she promises to tell us everything, but is interrupted by a family issue. We end up bumping into her on campus and talking things out. She explains her feelings to us, how she really feels about us, and how she was scared she'd be hurt if she opened up to us. She asks us if we still love her, and we respond with, "Okay." What? Wait, what? Okay, so this happens like twice in the game, and I'm pretty sure this is a mistranslation and it's supposed to say yes, but I can't not mention this because it throws me off every time it happened. Both times. We tell her that we want to start over from the very first day we met. Iris smiles, genuinely. She isn't hiding herself away. She's actually genuinely happy in this moment. We immediately get a time skip to several months later. We see a flashback of them redoing their first date. Iris is a lot more attentive and has like a certain loving attitude now. Basically, we're seeing that in contrast to the first time they were here on a date, they are actually close and their love is a two-way street now. The two of them still work together and they pretty much live together. They just rotate whose apartment they stay at. During the last couple of conversations, Iris shows a lot more emotion. She's jealous of you spending time with Victoria at work. She's loving both emotionally and physically. And also, we see a flashback of Iris proposing. The route ends with the two of them going on a business trip together, holding hands as they sit on the airplane. The end. And that's Love Curse. And, ugh, do I have to? Fine. The true ending sucks. We talked to this chick, Aurora. We saw her earlier. And with her help, we go back in time to save Fu Guang. We can't. She dies no matter what. And we're stuck there. We meet Phoenix, and together, we start piecing Fu Guang's soul back together so she can reincarnate, become immortal, and change our name to Aurora. Yep, that's the big reveal. After 1,000 years, we piece Fu Guang's soul back together, and she is reincarnated as Selene, except she's cursed by Chime and will die if she doesn't find true love. It's a whole time paradox, and I absolutely hate it. It serves almost no purpose to the overall story and only served to tick me off. Nothing is changed by adding in all this extra shit. It just feels like a waste of an hour, maybe two if you're a slow reader. Anyway, Love Curse. It's a nice little visual novel. It's nothing life changing. I wasn't moved to tears or anything like that, but it was good enough for the time I played. If each route was like an hour longer, it'd be a lot better. The game just needs a little bit of breathing room, and it would be good. This is their first game, as far as I'm aware, so maybe the next game will be significantly better. They'll have more money, stuff like that. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I have to say. See you guys.